Yo, what's up, guys? Let's find some bets. We got a lot of plays on PrizePicks, on Underdog Fantasy. We'll definitely be able to find some more. There's also a lot of good promos as well. So Sleeper, well, the app's bugging out, but I'll try to pull it up here in a second. Can you see Fliff? Is Fliff going to pull up? So I'm just making sure that this new layout is going to work out. But anyways, let's get into some bets. So without further ado, so Sleeper, okay, everything's pulling up. So why don't we start, we can start on any of the sports books. I say this in every video, but depending on where you're located, you may have different sports books than I have. So for example, this bet looks freaking incredible on FanDuel, right? OddsJam is a very simple platform. All it does is it reads in odds from all the sports books, points out value in the market. That's what like the positive EV tool does. So you can see Seager, plus 175 to get 2 or more hits on FanDuel. The rest of the market's pricing this at like plus 130, plus 103 on Hot Streak. So that play looks really good. But why don't we start out with PrizePicks? And we have a lot of unders, right? In terms of players to get a TD, we have Bijan Robinson, Diggs, Jamar Chase. I mean, all these plays. Same thing with Underdog Fantasy. And again, like, you just have to understand the strategy for these platforms. Underdog Fantasy, fixed payouts, right? They don't change your payout based on you hitting over versus under. You're always getting the same payout. So any 3-pick entry, you're always getting a 6x payout. Over, under, whatever. Doesn't matter what 3 picks you select as well. You can, and I know a lot of people know this, but for whatever, the new people, 6x payout is always what you're getting. So when you go through kind of the math behind Underdog Fantasy, what you're going to see is on Underdog to be profitable playing 3-pick entries. And I can actually just share this spreadsheet right here in the chat. What's up, guys? Kind of breaking down the math behind Underdog, but right on Underdog, if you can win these prop bets like Gavin Hardison, not Harrison, Hardison, over under 190.5 passing, if you can win your prop bets over 55% of the time on Underdog in 3-pick entries, you're going to be profitable. So it's pretty simple, right? It all boils down to win rate. It is a fixed payout platform. They don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So if you can win your prop bets just like this one, 60% of the time you win 60, you lose 40, your ROI is going to be, 30%. So really good. But what Underdog assumes is most people are stupid. And if you're stupid, and you don't have an advantage, if you don't have an edge, you don't have an advantage, you're going to win 50%, lose 50%. If you don't have an advantage, you picking over versus under is like flipping a coin. Heads versus tails. You're going to win 50%, lose 50%, right? And you're going to lose a lot of money on Underdog, and that's what they're banking on. So on Underdog, you got to win at least 55% of your picks to be profitable. So Bijan Robinson, so we can actually just go. So this tool is called the sportsbook screen. And all this tool does is it shows you where all books are setting lines. So again, OddsJam isn't perfect. It's reading in literally a million odds a second. So it's not going to, necessarily be perfect. But in general, it's going to show you all the main sports books. If you want any sports books added, just message the customer support thing on the website. Is you're going to see for Bijan, all the books have him favored to go under, right? Fliff has him as minus 200 to go under. So you have to be on this play on PrizePicks Underdog Fantasy. I'm not sure if it's still available. A lot of these lines move quickly, a lot of the best betting opportunities. So a lot of the times after we bet something, sometimes the line will move, but we can go here. So let's just take a look at NFL. And where is it? So we can go here, we can go to NFL, and this was the top play on the board. So if we go to the Packers game, it's pretty simple, and that's how you get an edge on Underdog Fantasy. It's different than a traditional sports book, right? Like most sports books like Fliff, right, there are odds. We're betting James Conner at minus 120, whatever, like Minnesota plus 510. I mean, you get the point. These books have odds. So Underdog Fantasy is different because any 3 picks you select, you're always getting the same payout. But where should we start? And again, if I don't get to anything in this video, yeah, there is a lot of good college football plays. Feel free to reach out to me, alex@oddsjam.com. But anyways, let's go ahead. Let's take a look. So Bijan Robinson, right? Like, it's pretty simple. And again, the reason there's a lot of value on the unders is most sports bettors are really clueless and they're betting Bijan Robinson to go over, which is literally the worst bet of all time, right? Like, literally, he's favored on every sports book to go under. All the books have him as a dog to go over. So you got to be on the under. It's free money, people. That is good play to be on. So we can look at NFL TDs. We can see if there's any others that may be good. So Jamar Chase is still available. I'm on Jamar Chase not to score a touchdown on PrizePicks as well as Underdog. Underdog Fantasy has a max bet size of like $100. I also thought this pick on Joshua Kelly was good. What else did I think was good? St. Brown under. All these picks are good, right? The value's on the under. And it's very simple, right? Like, it's, you know, so many people told me with Justin Jefferson bet, you know, worst bet of all time, Justin Jefferson didn't score a touchdown, right? Like, a lot of the value on these platforms is the under. And again, that's because most recreational bettors are taking the over. So that's why PrizePicks and Underdog leave their lines up. They're getting enough action on the over to keep the line up, even though all of these overs are absolutely horrible, right? Like, I mean, this was the best play on the board, actually. Devontae Adams, not to score a touchdown. I have this in like a shit ton of slips. 500 to win 5K here. We have him in this slip. We have him in this slip. We have him in this slip. So we have him in a bunch of slips. But what's crazy about this play is if you go to the Raiders game, and again, it's free to browse odds on OddsJam. I mean, any sport you want to look at. If there's any markets you want added, you know, you can just message customer support. They'll get the markets added for you. There's hundreds of sports books out there, so any books you want added. But if you look at Devontae Adams, he's plus 150. You can get him plus 150 to score a TD on a bunch of different sports books. So he's a big underdog, right? He's plus 150. Fliff has him minus 225 to go under. So, like, you know, on PrizePicks, it's like if you put two picks together in an entry, you're only getting, you know, plus 200 odds, right? You put two picks in an entry, that's a 3x payout, 20 to win 60. That's not plus 300 odds, that's plus 200 odds. You're betting 20 to win 40 in profit. So literally, you could just bet him plus 150 on Fliff, whereas on PrizePicks, you'd have to put two picks together just to get plus 200 odds. So anyways, let's get into some plays for today. So we can start out on Fliff, Jock Market. You know, I'll kind of be using the main sports books available in California, depending on where you're located. You may have different, you know, whatever. You may have different books available. So this play was really good. I already included it in a parlay. It's still available. You know, you can play good bets as straight bets. You can play them as parlays. Like, it doesn't matter. If a pick is profitable, positive EV, it's good to go in a parlay. So you can see I still have this. I have James Conner under 61.5 on Fliff. And you can see, like, why is this play good? It's like, well, first of all, literally the rest of the market has him like, you know, minus 145-ish, right, to go under. So that seems pretty good. But then if you dig into the odds a bit more, you'll see actually most sports books have his line lower. Most books have his line at like 55.5, 57.5. So all the books with his line at 61.5 have the under really heavily favored. We're getting minus 120 on Fliff. And then the rest of the books, again, as sharp bettors, all these books, we treat them as data points. They all have his line at like 55.5, 57.5, whatever. So it seems like there's pretty good value on the under. So let's refresh this and let's look for some plays. Clayton Kershaw under. So anyways, let's start taking a look at some of the bets out there. So what do we want to start out with? So we can go to PrizePicks. We can take a look at some of their NFL lines. Why don't we do that? So we can go here to the fantasy optimizer. And again, this tool is specific, right? It specifically works for these fantasy sites like PrizePicks that, you know, are really weird compared to a traditional sports book, right? They don't change your payout based on their fixed payout platforms. It's very different than a traditional sports book that has odds and stuff like that. But anyways, this play on Trevor Lawrence looks ridiculously good. They're bumping the odds in the wrong direction. You can see I got him minus 135. They bumped it to minus 130, which is now arbitrage to DraftKings. You could bet the over on Fliff, the under on DraftKings, and make a risk-free profit. So this play, where is it? So you can see here, like if you wanted to, you just follow the arbitrage calculator. I don't have access to DraftKings right now. It's not legal in California, but you could literally bet the over on Flip, the under on DraftKings, make a risk-free profit of $4 if you wanted to. But anyways, let's get into some plays. So we can start here, and let's just start building a slip. So the first play is, I think both of these picks are honestly good. Josh Jacobs, Tyreek Hill. So we could take one of them to start. And I'll kind of show you why. So again, Josh Jacobs, what we can do is we can go to the Raiders game. Is you'll see again, you know, like the entire market has him favored to go under, right? Minus 145. PointsBet has the over plus 125, but that's a one-way market. But anyways, we can start out here. Damn. Whoa, 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 whoa. Is this a promo? Oh, this is a promo. I was about to say, oh my gosh, they have Sanders' line at 296.5. So this is a promo, right? And essentially, like when we're betting, we're trying to create our own promos, finding these inefficiencies in the market. But if you look at Sanders, his line is 296.5 on PrizePicks. Let's take a look at the rest of the market. You can see they have him at like 341.5, 352.5, you know, whatever. So this is just the fantasy optimizer. Again, it's going to show you some promos if it picks them up. It's just going to show you value in the market, but that's also kind of nice because Sanders, I have him in a 6-leg parlay. He's my last leg. I have under 336.5, and now I'm getting him over 296.5. So I'm kind of hedging, you know, this bet I have on ParlayPlay. And again, more books you have, the better. Never know what book is going to, you know, fuck up their lines on a given day. So we can start there, and then you can see this play seems decent. Xavier Gilroy, over 4 receptions on PrizePicks we're going to go with. I'm not sure. I don't think, you know, college football betting, it's not legal in every state, but it's legal in a lot of states. So I'm going to hit some college football bets because that's what I have access to. And you can see, like, this is data-driven sports betting. The data never lies. So many people, it's like every damn pick I give out. Like, people overanalyze it. I watched highlights and I thought Justin Jefferson was going to score. It's like, you know, I'm just following the data. That's just how I bet because it doesn't lie. You're not going to win every bet, but when you're finding these inefficiencies in the market, you're going to win long term. And you can also like middle bet these plays. Like I've explained this before, but like middle betting is a strategy I do a lot. Whoa. What's up, guys? Flip. Underdog next, please. We'll look at underdog. So let's look at McCaffrey, right? So you can see I got him under 78.5 on underdog, over 67.5 on PrizePicks. Like so many people, it's like McCaffrey for sure is going over, bro. It's like, dude, I'm just middle betting this. It's like buying a stock for 67.50, flipping it for 78.50. But anyways, let's find some plays. So we got Xavier Gilroy over 4 receptions. Bang, bang, fire. And then we can continue looking for some more plays and just kind of take a look. And you can filter out certain markets if you want to, you know, whatever. But, whoa, we got over 1.5 takedowns in the UFC for Tracy Cortez. We got a lot of good bets out there. So let's see if we fall in love with anything. So we can take a look, you know, I kind of like just like pulling up the screen just so we can kind of see the entire market. Kind of see, like, it's crazy, right? Like, all these books have different lines. But anyways, let's shut up for a second and let's lock in a play for this Sanders promo on PrizePicks. So we have Xavier over 4. Okay, so we need 2 more on PrizePicks. We need 2 more picks. So let's take a look at what is this one that it's recommending. Gabe Ervin Jr. under 60.5 receiving yards. So we'll check out the receiving yards tab. Again, this betting tool is just called the sportsbook screen. Very simple. You know, it's just going to show you where all these books are setting their lines, where there is value in the market, you know. Not that complicated, you know. If you're not betting with data, you are fucked. You're not going to make money. It's like being a trader without a Bloomberg terminal. Good luck. But anyways, let's take a look at Gabe Ervin Jr., right? PrizePicks has his line at 60.5. The rest of the market in general, all these sports books, DraftKings 52.5, JockMKT 52.5, Flip 52.5. I mean, all these other books have his line lower. So, hey, that seems like a pretty good play to go with. This game starts in 56 minutes. So we can go ahead. We can take the under there. That seems pretty good. And again, like I don't play ever. You'll never see me play a 3-pick entry on Underdog. On PrizePicks. And people always think it's like, some rocket science going on here. PrizePicks gives you a 5x payout. Underdog Fantasy, which works exactly like PrizePicks, they give you a 6x payout. That's why you don't place 3-pick entries on PrizePicks. They're horrible, right? Compared to 5-pick flex plays. And we have some videos kind of like breaking down the math behind all that type of stuff. But where should we? So let's finish out this PrizePicks slip. So many promos going on, which is, again, nice. More books, more promos. That's great. Damn. So this play seems really good. Levante David over 7 tackles and assists. So we can go ahead. We can, again, like you can kind of just follow down the list or just kind of go down the list, pick out the plays you want. But I kind of like to just show like, okay, you can see here, all the sports books have this guy's line at 7.5 with the over as the favored outcome, right? Like when books have their lines juiced towards the over, that means that the book is telling you they think the over is more likely to occur. And again, these sports books have better models than you have. So many people, it's like, I'm going to create a better model than DraftKings. It's like, how are you going to create a better model than a $10 billion company that has billions of dollars to spend on their models, data feeds? It's not going to happen. Like, just find these inefficiencies in the market. It's such an easy way to make money. All these books have the line at 7.5 with the over as the favored outcome, as the juiced outcome. So, hey, that seems like a pretty good play to go with, the over 7. It's also available on ParlayPlay. So what we can do is we can start building a slip on ParlayPlay as well. So we can take Levante David over 7 tackles plus assists, and we can start building out a slip here. And now we have 3 good picks in our entry to start out on PrizePicks. And we can keep looking through. So we have Levante David. Any other NFL picks we fall in love with? There's some esports plays, so sure, we can go with an esports play. Easy over 35. Esports is great because there's just so many games, right? Like you think about, NFL, there's basically games like one day a week, whereas esports, games basically every day. So what we can do is take easy over 30. So how much is this promo for? I assume it's 25, but we can take a look. So this promo is for 25. So we can go ahead and we can lock that in. And that'll be our first pick. Boom. So that's our first play for the promo. I need to set up another screen so I can look at questions and stuff, because when I transfer over, do I trade Nixon on Fliff? Look at Liberty Mystics over first half. So let's take a look. Anyways, what's up, guys? So anyways, here's the first pick I went with. Again, I got to figure out a better way to do these live streams. It's hard to look at the chat and questions because then I pull up this tab. It just looks stupid. I'll need to get a second monitor or something. But anyways, here's the first play we went with. Then what we can do is, this was only for a max bet size of 25 bucks. So if we want a little more action, what we can do is be like, okay, let's find some other good picks to go with. So we can head over to like CSGO and we can take a look at some of these esports plays, see what we fall in love with. So if we look up this guy, Easy, and this is for first 2 maps, player kills. So let's take a look at Easy. We can take a look at, we already have him in a slip. We can take a look at, how do we feel about all these plays? Biolani storms in over 29. What do we love? Storms in over 29. It's like, what kind of sucks about esports is when you're betting on the NFL, in general, you have a lot of data points, right? Like there's a lot of books posting odds on all of these plays, like Evan Engram, under 4.5 receptions. Did we already bet this? If not, why don't we lock this in? I already have this actually on PrizePicks, but, we can double down. Evan Engram. We have this guy all over PrizePicks to go under 4.5 receptions, but you can see like the market has keeps ripping odds towards his under, right? And again, like all these books set lines independently, so they all have to update. Lineup changes, injuries, weather changes, all these books have to independently update their odds because they're all setting lines independently. And you can see like the market has kind of adjusted. Pinnacle has this minus 203. Fliff, you're getting minus 155. So really good value. in the market. So what we can do is we can go here, and then we can just look up this play. So again, OddsJam is just reading in all this data, pointing out value. If there's any picks you don't like, you obviously don't have to go with them. I don't let my emotions get in the way. Like everyone thinks, so what are we looking for? Receptions under 4.5, Evan Ingram. There we go. And then we'll hit it 250. So kind of doubling down on this play, but hey, is what it is. No, what's a problem with another bet? Again, I'd rather bet it on PrizePicks because PrizePicks is like better prices, but you know, whatever. I already hit my max on PrizePicks. Ooh, so now we got some baseball plays. So we can get rid of Fliff as well. Ooh. So we got some good plays showing up. Cole Ragans over 4.5 strikeouts. And again, all you got to do to be profitable on Underdog is win 55% of your picks. So all the sports books here are telling you, hey, he's a pretty big favorite to go over 4.5 strikeouts. That's why this play is winning over 55% of the time. You're following market data, market information. All these books, billion-dollar companies, really sophisticated models, and they're also moving around lines due to changes in the market. So what I mean by that is like you'll notice on Underdog Fantasy, you can actually look it up, is typically like you'll oftentimes see some good bets show up when official starting lineups are released or injuries, right? Anything that moves the market. You know, when I was a trader, your busiest days are when stocks have like earnings reports or when there's company announcements because there's new information in the market. So a lot of times the best bets show up, you know, lineups, lineup announcements, injuries, like Kelsey getting injured, right? That threw Chiefs-Lions player props in like disarray, you know, but anyways. Let's move quickly on this play though. So I really like all these picks, but Underdog Fantasy only has a max bet size of $100. And you can, did they already move this pick? Well, it looks like they didn't have it, but sometimes you have to refresh Underdog Fantasy, which is a little annoying. So I want to take him over 4.5. I want to take James Conner under 61.5. And then are there any new TD plays we want to go with? So Kelsey, Mixon, Chase, I already bet. Any of these other plays I wanted to bet. Bijan's available. Josh Jacobs under I think is decent. So the Bijan play is a good one to include in your slip if you haven't already bet it. I've already bet it, so I'm not going to be able to include it. Tyreek Hill. Am I really going to double down on Tyreek Hill, where if Tyreek Hill goes under, I'm already winning 10K plus 5K plus 5K, all down to Tyreek Hill? Will I double down? Maybe we double down on Tyreek Hill's under. So let's go to receiving touchdowns. And we can look at Tyreek Hill. And again, like you can see all the sports books have him minus 215, minus 210 to score. So fuck it. Yeah, I am going to include it. And there we go. We have a 3-pick entry. Absolutely beautiful on Underdog Fantasy. So pretty simple, right? Like on Underdog, all you got to do to be profitable is win 55% of your picks. Cole Ragans is heavily favored to go over. You know, no magic going on. Just following the data, following the market. And again, if you don't trust the market, like a lot of people will be like, oh, I know Cole Ragans is going under. I watch sports. Everyone who bets on sports watches sports. And the sports books are still in business. Doesn't work. Is the market, right? Like if we all put our life savings on Cole Ragans over 4.5 strikeouts, what do you think sportsbooks are going to do? They're going to move odds towards the over. It's a market. These sportsbooks don't just take millions of bets and not move their lines. If the action's coming in on the over, it's just like the price of a stock. If everyone keeps buying a stock, supply versus demand, the price goes up. It's a market. So when you're not following market information, it's actually kind of arrogant because it means you think you're smarter than everyone else. Because these lines, once sportsbooks release their lines, they have algorithms that move around their lines due to where action's coming in. Books don't want risk, right? They just want to make the spread. They want to make their little spread right there. But anyways, we can go here. So that's a pretty good play on Underdog Fantasy. Doubling down on Tyreek Hill. Again, arbitrage is the strategy I started out sports betting with. I don't currently have access to a lot of sports books, but arbitrage is when, you know, these books get super out of sync with one another that you can bet the over and the under and make a risk-free profit. So like here for Turpin, FanDuel has his line plus 750 to score a TD. So does PointsBet and Resorts World. Fliff is plus 355, right? This is, first of all, why you got to browse odds, right? If you're placing bets at plus 355 when another sportsbook is literally giving you over double the odds at plus 750, you don't stand a chance, right? But what arbitrage betting is it's for people who don't like risk, and it's just when you bet the over on one book, the under on another sportsbook to make a risk-free profit. And it's not glamorous, but I used to do this. You know, risk-free 350, right? You just follow the calculator. You bet is over for 250, or you can play around with your stake 175, and then it tells you how much to bet on the other side and what your risk-free profit's going to be. So it's not glamorous, but arbitrage betting is a way to make risk-free profits off the books. There are a lot of people who are successful with it. It just requires hustle. Too many people are too lazy. Everyone wants the $1 to win a million parlay. You know, arbitrage betting is making $5 risk-free here, $6 risk-free here, and just day trading the books. But you need access to a bunch of sports books. But anyways, what do we want to look at next? So we can look at ParlayPlay. And we can see what's available. So this seems decent, right? Tracy Cortez under 2 takedowns. You know, I don't think a bunch of books post lines for takedowns, but we'll take her under 2 takedowns. PrizePicks has the line at 1.5, right? We're finding plays with an edge in the market. So OddsJam is just kind of like a starting point. I mean, you can just follow down the list. But sometimes, too, you can find some nice correlated plays. So what I mean by correlated plays is like this play, for example. I really liked the value on Vernon Adams over, as well as Keon Hatcher. So I included them in the same slip, which makes sense, right? This guy's the QB. If he goes over in passing yards, PrizePicks has fixed payouts. If he goes over in passing yards, his receiver is going to be more likely to go over in receiving yards, right? So like when you can find some positive correlation to include, you know, that's good, obviously. That's only going to help you. Ooh, baby. Josie Jewell, over 7.5 tackles plus assists. Caesars has that as a minus 189 favorite. Damn. So we got some good bets here. So again, ParlayPlay is just like PrizePicks and Underdog. They don't change your payout. You can see here, I take over, under, I'm still getting the same payout. All the sports books have him minus one, what was it? Minus 190 on Caesars, minus 175 on DraftKings. Like, clearly pretty good. Ranger Suarez, under 5 strikeouts. So it looks like the most random slip of all time. But again, if that's where the value is, that's where I'm going to be betting. And in these videos, I'm just showing you what I'm putting my own money on. Oh my God, there are a lot of bets on ParlayPlay. Oh my gosh. So it's the same thing. Ooh, well, I don't know how I feel about this. Because these players, so this is like an example of, you know, like you can just follow the data, but like Carmen Curl is on the Commanders who are playing the Broncos. You don't want to take 2 players on opposing teams to both go over in tackles plus assists, right? If the Commanders have the ball more than the first guy, who was the first guy we were betting on? Josie Jewell is more likely to go over in tackles plus assists, but Carmen Curl is more likely to go under, right? Those plays would be negatively correlated, which isn't what we want. Damn. Gabe Irvin Jr., we already bet him under 60.5 on PrizePicks. Do we want to double down under 59.5? I don't know. We could. Did we ever finish that PrizePicks slip? No, we just have $25 to win $250. So what we could do is we could go to the NFL. We can take a look at these pass plus rush plus receiving plays. Can I double down on Tyreek Hill? This would be a triple down, but we could do it. We could do it. And again, like, you know, bet within your bankroll. We have some videos about like bankroll management, stuff like that. In these videos, again, I'm just showing you what I'm putting my own money on. If you don't want to bet it, don't feel pressured. So let's go here to NFL, and we can take a look at dart passing yards. So let's take a look at this, right? I view my sports betting like an investment. You know, damn, this play seems solid. ParlayPlay has his line at 236 half. FanDuel has his line at 255 half. You could middle bet this. You could take the over on ParlayPlay, the under on FanDuel if you use both books. You're day trading the books. It's like buying a stock for 236 half and then flipping it on, on Robinhood and then flipping it on E-Trade, selling it for 255 half. But again, the stock market's too efficient, right? That's why it's a great time to be a sports bettor. You have thousands of sports books. They're not all on OddsJam. OddsJam has a lot of sports books, 214. But, they're not all going to be there. But here, pretty clear value. The rest of the market's higher. This seems like a decent play to go with. So we can go here, and we can take Jackson Dart over 236 half passing. So that makes our 5th pick. But I really want to go with 6 pick entries, ideally on ParlayPlay. 5 picks are pretty close in terms of the EV. But what else could we take? Joe Milton under 254.5 passing yards. So here's another passing play. And again, you can see there were once again, there's a huge middle bet. This is crazy. You could always hedge, on, where's passing yards? So let's go back to passing yards. You could always hedge, right? And you could take the under or the over in this case on FanDuel. So over 237 half, under 254 half, you're middle betting it. You have the opportunity to win both bets. So anyways, this seems pretty solid. So we can lock this in and see how we feel about it. And that's perfect. And again, ParlayPlay is kind of cool because every day they have this slide the line promo. So we're already taking this guy's under because it's good. But if you wanted to add value to his under, you can slide the line to get under 259 half if you wanted to, right? But you can only do that once per day. But it's like a promo they run every day. But anyways, we can lock that in. Hopefully it didn't move. So there will be our first pick on ParlayPlay. And again, it looks like a random slip. But, wherever you can find an edge, that's probably where you want to be betting. So we can check out too, just okay, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars. Here's the full slip on ParlayPlay. Again, if you want to take a screenshot. Damn. So PointsBet would be great to have. They're giving us plus 105. I mean, that's arbitrage, right? Mark Andrews over 4.5 receptions. Plus 108 on FanDuel. Plus 105 on PointsBet. Granted, these lines can move pretty quickly, but you don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out what you could do here, right? Over plus 108, under plus 105, right? So pretty simple. We can just go through this quickly. Is his over, what's his over at? This will kind of explain to you. And again, this is how I started sports betting, so it's a useful strategy. And you'll see this play on the arbitrage tool as well. Let's just go ahead. Let's select all sports books. Top play available, risk-free 3.14%. So let's say you bet $100. You can follow the calculator exactly. You can also round your numbers, not freak out the sports books. So let's kind of take a look here, right? His over 4.5 is plus 108 on FanDuel. So let's say you bet $100, right? And this is how I started out sports betting. Some books have max betting limits. Again, that's what makes all of sports betting hard is you can beat these books, you can make money. But this play on Tyreek Hill, I really like it. But, Underdog Fantasy, I mean, you'll see, they're not going to let me bet more on it. I don't like any of these picks. Don't bet this. But just to show you, oh, you've hit your max betting limit. But again, it all just boils down to work ethic. Not being fucking lazy is how you make money. So here you can go to PointsBet and you can bet $100, right? So now if he has 5+ receptions, right, we're betting $200 total. So if he goes over 4.5, we lose $100 on PointsBet, and we bet 100 at plus 108 odds on FanDuel. So we're up 108. Our net profit is $8. If he goes under 4.5, right? So under 4.5, over 4.5, it's the opposite. Over 4.5. We make $105 on PointsBet. We lose $100 on FanDuel. Our net profit's $5. You're just day trading the sports books. Make money no matter what happens. That's arbitrage betting. But again, you need multiple sports books to do it. So it's harder for people in California because there's not as many sports books. It's really good strategy for people in Illinois, New Jersey, that have a ton of books available. But anyways, we can go back here. And when I've been on live streams when I am in Virginia, and we just hit, Russell Wilson over 12.5 rushing yards. So we got some new plays showing up, so we can go back here. So you can see Lamar Jackson over 49.5 rushing yards. There's good plays across the board, but what we can do is we can go back to the books we're using. So Underdog, PrizePicks, what else do we want to look at? Jock Market, Hot Streak, a lot of books available. Twins minus 2.5 for tomorrow. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, some of these plays we've been over. But here's the parlay play slip again if you want to tail it. What's up, guys? Yo, Jose, I know not everyone has access to sportsbooks, but you can always get access to sportsbooks. There's tons of sportsbooks in California. You just gotta dig a little. They're just a little less big than FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the live stream who are betting on sportsbooks other than FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, even though it's not regulated in their state. But anyways, why don't we do a PrizePicks slip? Because why not? Although there were some more good bets on ParlayPlay. Where do we want to go? Derek Carr under 242.5 passing yards. So like these, extra yards of value make the big difference. So if we go to passing yards, why don't we take a look at Derek Carr? So let's go here to passing yards, and we can take a look at our boy Derek Carr. All of the market has him at 235.5. So here, like football is amazing for middle betting. Hit his over 242.5 on ParlayPlay, then head over to Hot Streak, hit his over 227.5, right? You have a 15-yard middle bet, right? If he has 228 to 242 passing yards, you win both bets. What's better than that? And again, like those yards are impactful. And what I mean by that is you have to remember, like Derek Carr isn't going to throw for 1,000 passing yards, right? So like a lot of people will be like, oh, it doesn't seem like that big of a difference, 227.5 to 242.5, but that's where he's like most likely to end up in yards. He's not going to throw for 600 passing yards. He's not going to throw for 0 passing yards. So he's most likely to kind of like, end up in the middle. So that seems pretty good. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's take a look at Derek Carr. So maybe we do one more parlay play slip. I know it's not the hottest book out there, but it's a good book to have. They have pretty low max betting limits, only $60 for 6-pick entries. And my betting limits have always been that. On Underdog Fantasy, I used to be able to bet more than $100, but they've kind of capped my bet sizes a bit because I've beaten them. But like on ParlayPlay, even with a $60 max bet size, I've used this book for like 4 months. I'm up 3.5K. So not particularly bad. Right? You just got to put in the work. You got to deal with some ups and downs on these parlay-only sports books. But ParlayPlay is pretty exploitable in terms of sports books that are available. So we can go to this Derek Carr play. And again, you can do this slide the line promo if you want to add some extra value. But I'll skip over that for now. Man, I'm going to get some sushi later. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of these other plays. What was that play I wanted to go with, but then those players were on the same team? Something with the Commanders. Carmen Curl. That's what I wanted. Over 6.5 tackles plus assists. Boom. So these two plays look good to start. Again, all the books have his over heavily favored. The fantasy optimizer is pointing it out. And I've explained this before, but like most bets suck, right? Like Underdog Fantasy has tens of thousands of lines at any given time, right? But again, on Underdog, we have to win these prop bets, like Hill over under half of a TD. We have to win these prop bets above 55% of the time to be profitable, right? You got to win your picks 56% of the time, only losing 44% to be profitable long term. So like that's kind of hard, right? Most of these bets suck, right? You're looking for, they literally have limitless things you can bet on. You're looking for those spots of gold where there's edges in the market. And you can see PrizePicks already moving lines in our favor. So they're bumping lines in our direction. But, you kind of get the point. It's like we're kind of looking for the few plays where PrizePicks is screwing up big time, like Bijan Robinson to not score a touchdown. We got a lot of money on Bijan not to score. We got a lot of money on a lot of players not to score. But let's take a look at parlay play. So we have 2 picks. How many more do I need? I need a few more. Levante David over 7. That play we already had. Gabe Irvin under 259.5. Whatever. Maybe we double down. Again, it's a little beat because I had this on PrizePicks under 60.5. But there was really good value on the play. And also PrizePicks, I can't rebet it. They already bumped their line down to 57.5. So whatever. Maybe we start here. What is this play? Hits plus runs, combos. Let's fall in love with some plays. We got Jackson Dart. That's a play we already went with. Trying to focus on some of these college football plays. Milton, we already locked in. How do we feel about Adonai Mitchell under 66.5? Snead over 5. Derek Carr. Tyreek Hill under 86.5. Oh, a lot of plays to go with. Also, some of these I've already bet, so I have to remember because, again, Underdog Fantasy, or sorry, Parlay Play, they only give you, you can see I'm already on Hill under 90.5. They now have bumped their line down to 86.5, but it's still a good play if you compare that to the rest of the market. So if we just pull up the sportsbook screen, and then we head over to the NFL, and then we look at receiving yards, and we take a look at Tyreek. You know, you can see the rest of the market has him around like 77.5, 80. So like there's good value. This is a good play to go with if you haven't already bet it. Under 86.5 receiving yards for Tyreek Hill. Not a bad play to go with. So this play looks nice. Elizabeth Williams over 5.5 rebounds. So we now have Elizabeth Williams. Where are you, baby? So here we go, over 5.5 rebounds. So now we have 4 picks. And let's just see if there's anything we fall in love with. So what I can also do, what sportsbooks do I have selected here? So any books you don't use, the positive EV tool is just going to point out value on them. And then the fantasy optimizer just for these fantasy only sites. So like, it doesn't really matter what you use, the fantasy optimizer versus the EV tool. I mean, they're both trying to do relatively similar things. Point out discrepancies, value in the, oh my God. Damn, there is a lot of value on Parlay Play. And there's value on Hot Streak right now. Damn. Wow. So again, what's nice about Parlay Play is so maybe we just focus on Parlay Play for a second. So let me get rid of the rest of these sports books. You can just filter them out. And we can go to Tyler Boyd under 3.5 receptions. Again, it's very simple strategy, right? Like, so the only thing I try to make sure of is like, okay, like none of these players are in the same game because then you need to consider correlation. But like, and you'll see this plays also on the fantasy optimizer. The fantasy optimizer just also shows you line discrepancies. So it's, what am I trying to say? It's a little, like, it's just going to show you more plays in general than the EV tool for these fantasy sites. Because it shows you line discrepancies as well as price discrepancies. But anyways, right, like on Parlay Play, we're getting the same payout if we take his over or his under. But again, like on Parlay Play, you know, it's a fixed payout platform, but you look at all the sports books, they all have his under pretty heavily favored. All these billion-dollar companies, really sophisticated models, have his under around like minus 140. So we want to take his under. And then we can go to Puka Nakao, over 43.5 receiving yards. So again, you just want to make sure none of these players are in the same game, or if they are, you just want them to be positively correlated. So do I have anyone from this game? No, I don't. So okay, there we go. And then we can go ahead. You know, sometimes what I do is I'll use this little slide the line promo. So like, boom, under 61. And then we can bet this. And then you can like, you know, because this promo, this little slide the line thing, you can only do it, but whatever. I'm just not even going to bother with it right now. Because then I'm going to have to put everything back in, and then I'm going to have to rebet it. And that's just annoying. But again, what's nice about Parlay Play, and a lot of people don't think about this, But it really matters long term. And right, like I treat my sports betting like an investment. I wouldn't be slamming things for $500. I wouldn't be betting $50,000, per NFL weekend if I didn't know my plays had an edge. But anyways, is on PrizePicks, they only give you, if you go 5 for 6 in one of these flex play entries, you get a 2x payout. Parlay play, it's 2.5x. Those things make a difference. You go 4 for 6, PrizePicks only gives you a 0.4x payout. Parlay play, 0.5x. These things make a difference long term, right? So like, you'll feel better about betting money and making money once you understand the math behind these platforms. Like I literally have spreadsheets going through the payouts, what's optimal for every single one of these damn sports books. ParlayPlay, Underdog, all these different fantasy platforms. But anyways, we can lock it in. Again, the best line discrepancies aren't going to last forever. So I try to move quickly in general. So we can go ahead, we can lock that play in on ParlayPlay. And a lot of people too will be like, oh, you give out too many bets on a daily basis. Like their max bet size is $60. Even if I had an ROI of 50% on ParlayPlay, if I only bet one thing a day and my ROI was 50%, their max bet size on this platform is $60. So that means you're capping your ROI to $30 a day. So the more you want to place more bets, right? It's all about volume relative to your edge. What is your edge? How much volume can you get down? Damn, there are a lot of bets in general. So we can go back here and maybe we fire off one more. Volume game. Find plays with an edge, rinse and repeat, follow the data, don't get emotional. You'll have some bad beats. We had some bad beats last weekend. I mean, I know a lot of people tailed it from Twitter, but we had Austin Hooper, under 13.5 receiving yards or longest reception. So if we go back here, if we go to Sunday, this was a horrible beat, although I did cash most of my other bets, unsurprisingly. So if we take a look here, where is it? We had him under 11.5 longest reception. He almost dropped the ball. That would have cashed a 5-leg parlay. It was the last leg in the parlay. But again, it's not about, so many people zone in on each bet. Oh, here's my opinion on this bet. I literally just follow the data and crank them out. But anyways, let's continue going through on ParlayPlay. So again, here for Trevor Williams, all the sportsbooks have his over heavily favored. That's the side to be on PrizePicks. And we have Sutton over 3.5. So I probably could have paired that with one of those tackle plays for positive correlation, but I didn't. So that's just kind of how it is sometimes. So I'll take Sutton over 3.5. Oh my God, there are a lot of plays. Aubrey under 7.5. Kyle Hendricks over 3.5. So Hendricks over 3.5. Aubrey under 7.5. Very simple, right? Obviously the higher profit margin plays, this play is better. But again, you have to remember what's crazy about sports betting is your returns are daily, right? I explained this to a lot of people, but if you could even get a 2% ROI on your bets, in general, we're betting on games that are today, like Zach Davies under 3.5 strikeouts. This is a play with a very small edge. But again, in parlays, your edge compounds, right? Anyways, so do I have Hendricks? Wait, no. Hendricks over. Okay, so that works well. Could also take Ryland over 5.5 kicking points. But if you could earn a 2% ROI on your bets, that's 60% a month because you're usually betting on games that are today. You're not going to find 50% ROI bets in general, except for these plays on Bijan Robinson. Those are ridiculously good. But anyways, let's lock this in because my computer's about to die. So there we go. We got another 6-pick entry. I'll be back on live streaming later, trying to find some bets. Again, these are the platforms I have access to. You may have different sports books in your location, so I recommend just researching what books are in your location. I literally use them all. I've used over 40 sports books, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, every single one you can think of. I've probably used it. It just depends, right? So I'm currently in California. I'm betting mainly on California sports books, PrizePicks, ParlayPlay, Underdog Fantasy. There's edges on all of them. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful. I'll be back on live later. Let's make some money this week.